What is up, everybody? It is Lawrence again. Today I'm going to start a new series of reviews, mainly because I do travel a lot for my profession, and honestly, one of the biggest things for me about kind of travel are the things that I bring with me to make travel both light, easy, and honestly, versatility and everything like that really matter quite a bit. I'm going to start a new series about the ability to take certain sneakers and or other products along with me and their durability and things like that as you travel. For the first ever, how does it travel? We're gonna go with the Nike Infinity React. This shoe has been with me for the last over a little month, and I've gone everywhere with it. I've walked the streets of New York, I've gone to the gym, and I've even traveled to Mexico on multiple flights, as well as literally walking through horse shit to bring you this review. Overall, I definitely wanted to show you the travels that I've gone on with this shoe. And so here is a shot of the pyramids of Teotihuacan. So with a little of a travel spin, let's get into the review of the Nike Infinity React. How does it travel? So let's start with comfort. Overall comfort for this pair of shoes is absolutely high. If you have not seen my original review of the Nike Infinity React, that will be linked in the description below. It's an absolutely phenomenal shoe. I actually had a different version of that earlier. It was a white version. I got the black version because I would plan on traveling with this shoe, and obviously with a knit upper, it's going to take a lot more in terms of the ability to get stained and things like that than your typical white. And that was actually very, very prevalent on my trip to Mexico. But the overall comfort is absolutely phenomenal. The overall stretch of the Flyknit is really, really good. It conforms to your foot. The one thing I want to note about having this after 30-something days is I actually went true to size when I went to go get my second pair, which was this one. The reason for that was because while the half size up fit well initially, the knit eventually got much looser. And that loose knit made me realize that I needed a size smaller. So I went true to size, and so this is true to size, and it fits a lot better than the original half up that I normally go with Flyknit sneakers. So definitely take that as part of your consideration when you're buying this. The second thing is React cushioning. This specific pair of the Infinity Reacts are designed so that you do not get injured while running. So as a lifestyle shoe that you just walk around in, it's phenomenal. 24% more React than your typical Epic Reacts, and it really, really shows here, and there's nothing bad about this shoe. The return is great, and obviously if you do need to go for a run or anything like that, it's made for that, but from a lifestyle walking around point of view, absolutely all-day comfort. The arch is absolutely amazing, and just overall, I'd say the durability of this specific React cushioning is really, really good. With the new version of this, which is the Infinity React versus the Epic React 2s, this actually has a much better traction pattern than the old version. Finishing off on comfort, the stability of the shoe remains. I've climbed all over the place with it. It's phenomenal. You will not be disappointed with the comfort. Moving to the next section, durability. So the durability of this shoe should be really high. However, it's yet to be seen. There just has not been enough time. But the outsole over here, compared to the old version of this, which is the Epic React, has significantly more rubber. And the old version that I used to have with Epic Reacts and honestly any React cushioning, the durability has remained really, really high. It does not bottom out the same way that Boost does after almost maybe a month worth of wearing. So this is a phenomenal shoe for durability perspective. The Flyknit on durability is also super important. So they this specific version of Flyknit is called Flyknit Loft. I'm not sure if you can actually see that, but there's actually 3 layers of the Flyknit. And what's cool about it is that this top layer of that Flyknit is much more plasticky than your typical Flyknit, and it actually uses normal traditional Flyknit up here that you can see a bit of a difference closer to the tongue versus over here. and it has a much more mesh-like feel. And the reason I think it's important from a durability perspective is that plastic's going to add some rigidity to the Flyknit, but it also, if you do have a lighter shoe, it's going to shed water and dust a little bit better than the knit. The knit's going to basically just take it up all on its own. And so the version of the Infinity React has both regular Flyknit, which is over here, it's a little stretchier around the collar and the tongue, and a little thicker kind of version over here, but it's still extremely breathable, so very durable shoe. Going to the next section, this is called the on-off-ability. I don't know what else to call it. If you have any suggestions below on what to call this section, basically the on-off ability is the same thing as an anxious dude that is trying to get that bra off on a hot and steamy night. Hopefully nothing goes wrong, but obviously the easier it is to get your shoe on and off, the easier it is you're going to traverse through security lines. You're going to traverse through just taking it off, when you're on the plane or on a train or wherever else. I actually think that's a huge, major portion for me when I'm going through all these different checkpoints and not having to worry about a shoe that's hard to take off. On the score of the on-off ability, the shoe doesn't score very high. Maybe over time it's going to be a little looser, but I would say that the shoe is a little tighter on the instep of the upper, and so it's a little harder to get on and off. While you can definitely slip it on, it's definitely a struggle. You don't have to completely unlace it every single time, but the lacing system here is almost, it's almost like a novelty. It really doesn't do very much, and so when I'm looking at it from that perspective, the on-off ability of the shoe is not great. Next thing we're going to talk about is the packability. The main thing about the packability of the shoe is that it is Flyknit, and so it pretty much does collapse pretty easily. The sole itself is relatively light, and so when I'm looking at it, it squishes pretty easily once you add this other second piece on. So it should be relatively easy to pack, much easier than your leather shoes, and you can see that with the soles stacked on each other, it's not too crazy. For me personally, I typically stuff my sneakers in there with either dirty underwear or dirty socks. The reason I do that is so that, one, it saves some space, but also it allows you as a traveler to keep your shoe and its shape intact while it's actually being traveled with. So what are my final thoughts on the Nike Infinity React? I would say it's a really, really great travel companion. I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. The reason it's not fully a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 is super simple. This shoe has great versatility in terms of walking and be able to somewhat transition into a casual look, but for the most part, if there is any weather permitting, this shoe is going to completely and utterly fall apart. Obviously, it's not made for that, but if there is a lot of rain or if there is mud or whatever else, it's going to completely and utterly soak right through into your socks, and nobody likes wet socks. Wet socks are probably one of the worst things I've ever felt. What do you think is the worst feeling? I don't think there's anything worse than wet socks. The Infinity React is definitely worth packing. You can go to the gym with it, you can go work out with it, you can go run with it, you can go walk with it. There's really nothing that this can't do. If you have any questions about how this shoe travels, definitely leave them in the comments below. This was the first episode, I guess, of how does it travel. And if there's any specific products that you want to look at or anything like that, any suggestions on the type of information that you might want, leave them in the comments below. This is going to always be evolving, and I can't wait to hear your comments. But until next time, this is the Nike Infinity React. Peace.